Hello and welcome to Zambia Today program. My name is Nosiku Muyawa and today's topic is entitled Promoting Professionalism Among Educators. To this effect, in the studio we have the Teaching Council of Zambia, Public Relations Officer and Communications, Ms. Coretta Soko. Welcome to the program, Madam.
Thank you, ma'am. It's a pleasure being here.
Indeed, we are in 2025 and we are focusing on promoting professionalism among the educators in order to benefit learners so that we achieve sustainable development. And so, what is your mandate?
Thank you so much. The Teaching Council of Zambia is based from the Teaching Profession Act number 5 of 2013. That is the foundation of the Teaching Council of Zambia. We started our practice and regulating teachers in 2015. So if you must know, this year we'll be clocking 10 years, which is a very huge milestone for us.
Indeed.
Therefore, our mandate comes from the enactment of the Teaching Profession Act number 5 of 2013, which is to regulate teachers, their professional conduct and practice. Now, when you look at our mandate, it will reveal to you three things that will entail that a teacher is profession. We look at the teacher themselves. What are they bringing to the table, their qualifications. We look at their practice, how profession is their practice, their conduct. We look at issues of the code of ethics that the teacher will be guided on and off duty during their tenure of their teaching career. Yes.
That is great. How does TCZ define and promote professionalism among educators in Zambia?
Thank you. That's a very, very good question. We can't talk about professionalism in the teaching industry without talking about the Teaching Profession Act number 5 of 2013 that I spoke about earlier when telling you our mandate. So the act itself has redefined and refined teaching. Now we have issues of legal obligations that a teacher has to have in terms of if they are going to be professional. The Teaching Profession Act also expects a teacher to be registered and licensed. What do we mean? That is part of professionalism. A teacher, before interfacing with the learners, should be able to register with us. And what do we require on registration? During the registration process, we require a teacher to tender in their verified and certified copies of their academic and professional qualifications. When that process starts, a teacher will then be scrutinized with the tendered in of their applications. Once they meet the criteria that we've set out as standards and compliance, then the teacher will be given a TCZ number and then they will be in the National Register as per required in the Teaching Profession Act number 5 of 2013. All that is a process of a teacher being professional. Aside from a teacher being registered, a teacher is expected to apply for the practicing license or practicing certificate. This is a legal document that will give the teacher, or that will enable the teacher to have access to interface with the learners in class. So when you look at the Act, it has given us a definition of how professional a teacher should be. A teacher is also expected, according to the Act, to participate in continuing professional development activities. I mean, I'm in PR, I'm expected to participate in CPDs in terms of my profession, the trends that are going on, how I can be relevant in my institution. It's the same with the teachers. Looking at the coming in of ICT when we're being hit by coronavirus, you know, it brought about the vigorous use of ICT. And CPDs, as we call them, continuing professional development, provide a platform for teachers to upskill themselves in and be relevant in a classroom. When you look at our learners nowadays, they are so IT oriented. Therefore, also teachers need to participate in continuing professional development in terms of IT skills, in terms of management, in terms of how they conduct themselves on and off the duty, on and off the classroom. all that is CPD, and that is what is expected of a teacher if they are going to be called professional, or if they are to be professional. The Teaching Profession Act also requires that a teacher abides by what the Code of Ethics for the teaching profession is, and it's called the Statutory Instruments number 1 of 2018. This is a Code of Ethics for teachers which enables them, gives them a guide on how they should relate among teachers, on how a teacher should relate with the learner, of how a teacher should relate with the community and with the parents. So when we talk about professionalism, it's a whole total package, from the way a teacher conducts themselves when they are in school, and how they conduct themselves when they are outside school, when they are outside the classroom, how a teacher will conduct themselves professionally, academically, how they will explain their lessons, to making sure that there's quality education for our learners. Because as a council, as a regulator, what we want at the end of the day, our priority is quality education for the Zambian learner, so that we enhance national development.
You talked about teachers going to the extent of talking to parents.
Yes. When we talk about the Code of Ethics, it's a very simple guide, yet detailed. The Code of Ethics for the teaching profession entails that it gives a guide on how a teacher should relate themselves with a fellow teacher in class, whether in the staff room, whether at college, whether they are upgrading their academics, their professional qualifications. They need to know how to relate with themselves. They need to know how to relate among themselves. The Code of Ethics also entails how a teacher should relate with the community. It also entails how a teacher should relate themselves with a parent. We have school-going children, so a parent will go to find out, why is my child not doing well? Or I'm impressed that my child is doing well. Maybe let me recommend other parents to bring their teachers, their learners here, or their children here. So the Code of Ethics is a guide. It's like a Bible for a teacher. It entails them on how they should conduct themselves with the learner, with the parents, with the community, and with their fellow teachers, with their fellow peers. And that is what we require for a teacher to be professional. And when we talk about professionalism, it's not only in the line of Code of Ethics, it's also in the line of compliance. You know, as TCZ, we are going in the 3rd cycle of renewal for the practicing license. And most of the teachers will be renewing this January. Their 2nd cohort came to an end in 2024, December 31st. Therefore, when we talk about professionalism, any professional teacher is required to renew their license this year, this cohort, from 2025 to 2027.
So the year 2025 is a pivotal for the council. What are your priorities in the areas such as continuing professionalism and enhancing self-service? Indeed,
2025 for Teaching Council of Zambia is a pivotal year. To begin with, we are clocking 10 years in February as a council, as a regulator for the biggest profession in the country, as a regulator to over 220,000 teachers countrywide, be it in the private or in the public sector. You must know that the Teaching Council of Zambia is a regulatory body not only for teachers serving in the public sector, but also teachers that are serving in the private sector. Any teacher that is going to teach, hold chalk, or interface with the learner should be registered and licensed by the council. But it's not only registration and licensing that we're looking at in 2025. We're also looking at encouraging teachers to indulge in CPD activities, in-service CPD activities, which are very, very important. These CPD activities will make a teacher relevant in the institution, at the school, in the college of education. So 2025 for us, we're looking at offering courses, online courses on CPD, on management, on IT-related issues, because we've also launched a course called the Technology-Enabled Learning for Teachers. This is to enhance teachers be upskilled in ICT issues and how they can conduct their lessons using ICT. So in 2025, we have so much on our board as a council, as a regulator. We are also focusing on compliance, like I told you. The third cohort, or the third renewal cycle for teachers, is from 2025 to 2027. So our appeal as a council is, as a professional, or for a teacher to be professional, you need to renew your license. You cannot renew your license if you have not participated in CPD activities, in continuing professional development activities. These are in service. There are so many CPD service providers that are around. There are so many courses that teachers can indulge themselves in order to upskill and enhance their skills. So them renewing their license is dependent on the accrual of CPD credit points. How does this work? When you attend a CPD activity, whether within the school, within the zone, within the district, you earn CPD credit points. And you must know that as a council, we've made lives of our teachers very, very easy. First of all, for them to register, they just have to go online and register. For them to have a license or apply for the practicing license, they have to go online. It's seamless. At the comfort of your school or in your home or wherever you are able to apply for teacher registration, you're able to apply for licensing, and same goes for CPD. If a teacher has attended a CPD activity or has presented or has attended a workshop which has enabled them to be relevant, to upskill in their line of pedagogy or line of work, the teacher will be able to go on our system and update their own CPD activities. Once they do that, the user ID or the user system or the head of institution will have to check, oh, did Coretta Soko attend this CPD? Let me see the proof. So long they verify that I attended through reports, through logging in, they'll be able to just accept, and I'm awarded the CPD points. So it's very easy. Licensing is not dependent on just a teacher going, paying for the process and applying. We need to know that somebody or a teacher has been attending CPD activities, they've been upskilling, they are becoming more and more relevant to the learner for a better output of education. So for Teaching Council of Zambia, 2025 is a remarkable year, and we, other than CPD, we also want to emphasize on teachers following up with the code of ethics. You know, the past 10 years we've been laying the foundation, developing policies, standards of practice, but right now we want to take off and say, look, other than you being a registered teacher, a licensed teacher, other than you us requiring you to be in the national register, we would like you to also be relevant to society, upskill yourselves, be a modest teacher, be an example. We want to bring back the lost glory. You know, a long time ago, if you saw Teacher Zulu will still hold the same kind of respect they held 20 years ago. But now, because of lack of ethics, lack of professionalism, that respect that teachers used to have has long gone. And that's what, as a regulator, we're here to do, to restore that glory, to make sure that our learners have good quality education. So for 2025, as Teaching Council of Zambia, we're very excited, very, very excited, because we have a lot to offload. We've introduced the mobile payments. We had a system where you needed to go to the bank and pay for your teacher registration or licensing. But we have a collaboration with ZICB, and we've launched a mobile payment service. So whether you're on MTN, you're on Airtel, you're on Zamtel, you can be able to just move your money seamlessly from your account to your mobile account and go online on our TMIS, on our portal, and just pay for teacher registration, pay for the license without even moving an inch. So long you have scanned your copies and you have them in soft copy, you'll be able to do everything at the comfort and convenience of your time, home or in your school.
Wow.
Yes.
It has really made life easy for the teachers.
You know, when you look at this world, it's a global village. We are now going towards, we are shrinking because we're using technology. Technology, of course, has its pros and cons, but we have to make use of technology because this generation we're in, or our learners, our children, they are more ICT oriented. So therefore, as a council, as a regulator, we also need to just make sure we push and encourage our teachers to be ICT relevant, to be relevant in their schools, to indulge in continuing professional activities that will make sure that they are also up to standard and we're able to compete locally and internationally. Our learners should be able to compete within Zambia, within Africa, and also on an international level.
Okay. So you mean that they can also apply internationally and then they can be accepted, teachers from Zambia?
I'll tell you one thing, whoever is leaving Zambia to go and teach outside the country, whether be it in Seychelles, in the UK, they need to be registered and licensed with the Teaching Council of Zambia. Wherever we've had schools, colleges calling in, asking for letters of recommendations, but we can only write for a letter, we can only write a letter of recommendation for a Zambian teacher if they are compliant. What do I mean? If they are registered with us, they have a TCZ number. Secondly, what do I mean? If they have applied for the practicing license, they've made good with us. Because this is according to the Teaching Profession Act number 5 of 2013. It's a requirement that upon a teacher interfacing with a learner, they should be registered and licensed. And we only do that through the CEO, and he will only do that if there's recommendations say this teacher is registered, this teacher is licensed, this teacher has applied for the first renewal, they have applied for the second, and they have also renewed in the third cycle. So wherever you are going to go globally, they'll require that there's a recommendation from the Teaching Council of Zambia if you're a teacher from Zambia. And if you must know, Zambia is part of the regulatory bodies, Africa Federation of Regulatory Bodies, AFTRA. And our registrar, Dr. Ebi Manga, is the president right now. We also recently had the AFTRA conference in Zambia in 2024 in May. So that just shows that Zambia is on the world map, it's competing internationally. So whether a teacher likes or not, whether they're going to practice in Japan, whether it's South Africa, whether they're going to practice in the UK, whether it's Finland, it is law that they should be registered, they should be licensed with the Teaching Council of Zambia.
We are moving forward. Now, reflecting on 2024, are there some significant achievements by the Teaching Council?
Indeed,
2024. Apart
2024.
from what you have mentioned.
Indeed, 2024 was a very active year. It was a very, very active year for the Teaching Council of Zambia. First of all, we had the AFTRA conference. Like I mentioned, this is a conference where teachers from different African countries, even from Europe, it's continental, international, come to listen in their proposals that are given. It's more of CPD actually, because each teacher that will participate in AFTRA will accrue CPD credit points. Then as a teacher, you can also present your paper, your research paper during AFTRA. So we hosted as a country the AFTRA conference, which was graced by our VIP, the Vice President, Mtarina Lumango. It was a huge function, and we did it successfully. We hosted the AFTRA for 3 days successfully, and the Minister of Education, through the Permanent Secretary, was also guiding us through. So it kept us busy, it kept us on our toes, because we wanted to meet the international standards as a regulatory body. And you learn that most African countries are coming to benchmark with the Teaching Council of Zambia because of that. And like I mentioned, our CEO is the sitting president of AFTRA. in Africa, meaning we have really made a mark. So 2024 was very exciting, and it was a busy year for us. We also commissioned our teacher house, our office block, which is in Kablonga along Lake Road. We've built that state-of-the-art infrastructure solely by using teacher subscriptions. So you can tell that even as a regulator, but even as an institution, our management is very serious. They have been planning, and they have a future for a legacy for this country and a legacy for our teachers. When you come to it's called the Teacher House. It's very, very remarkable. So we launched the Teacher House. We commissioned it. The Minister of Education came through and commissioned it. We also launched the mobile payments plan, which I'm from explaining where we had a collaboration with ZICB, and it has eased our teachers' lives. Teachers are able to apply online seamlessly because of the mobile payments. 2024 was a packed year. We also launched our 2022 to 2026 strategic plan for our institution. We also launched the technology-enabled learning framework policy for our learners. This is a CPD course which will be online, where teachers can be able to access and be more IT integrated. So 2024 was very, very massive. And knowing that our teachers, most of their cohort, their practicing license was coming to an end in December 2024, we really, really went in sensitization vigorously on how they can just participate in CPD, on how they can earn their CPD credit points. And when you look at the council, it does not work alone. We work with collaborations, and we did a lot of that last year. We worked with ZICTA, we worked with Zambia Industrial Commercial Bank, we worked with UNESCO, and the Teachers' Day this time around was just massive. We had so much collaboration with UNICAF University as well. So 2024 was just so busy. We awarded over 50 teachers as a council on Teachers' Day. Wow. So 2024 for us was a plus. We had achieved a lot. We brought so much to the table. We learned a lot as an institution, and we keep pushing.
Interesting.
Yes.
Interesting. What does the council mean when it emphasizes that teachers must be compliant, and how important is that? Okay,
when we talk about compliance, so we had the first renewal, the second renewal, the third renewal starts from 2025 to 2027. What are we saying in terms of compliance when I talk about these dates? Every teacher, before interfacing with the learners, should be able to apply for the practicing license. They should be able to renew. It is stated in the Teaching Profession Act number 5 of 2013. Our act clearly states that for a teacher to teach in class, they should be licensed. And that's the compliance we're talking about. And compliance is directly linked to professionalism. If I'm going to be a professional, I should be able to adhere with what my regulator is stipulating. You see? So it's the same when we say teachers should be compliant. They should be compliant in the way they conduct themselves, following the code of ethics as it guides them on how to conduct themselves in class and outside class. They should be compliant in terms of applying for the practicing license. Because if they do not apply for the license, and if our standards officers and regulation and compliance officers go in the field and find this teacher not compliant, they shall be penalized. So it is just very, very important. Compliance should be willing. You don't even need to be reminded. You just know, oh, my time is up now. My tenure has finished. I need to renew my license. For me as a professional, and for me to be compliant and to be in good books with my regulator. Compliance really has a positive effect. If teachers are compliant, anyone will take you. Like I mentioned earlier, people write for recommendations. They will ask, is this person compliant? Are you aware of Coretta Soko as a teacher? For us, we go in our database. Is Coretta Soko registered? Yes. Is Coretta Soko compliant? When did she register? 2017, meaning she has three cohorts of practicing license: 17 to 21, 21 to 24, 24 to 25 to 27. So compliance is very important, and it's expected of every teacher.
Now, could you tell us about the key partnership or collaborations TCZ is currently engaged in?
Okay, as an institution, for you to thrive better, you need to deal in collaborations, and as a council, we've done that a lot. We fall under the umbrella of the Ministry of Education, and we work closely with the Ministry of Education, being guided by our Permanent Secretary, Administration, and our well-able Minister, Honorable Douglas Yakalima. I might tell you that we are under 80 countrywide, managing over 200,000 teachers. If we're going to succeed in so many areas, we need to collaborate. So we collaborate closely with the Ministry of Education, as we fall under them. We also collaborate with the Teaching Service Commission in terms of recruitment. If you must know, the Code of Ethics was formulated together with the Teaching Service Commission. And when Teaching Service Commission is recruiting, they use our system, our teacher management system. So Teaching Service Commission, we work hand in hand with them in terms of recruitment, because if they are going to recruit a teacher, they need to make sure that that teacher is registered and licensed. If they are going to retire a teacher, they will come in our system to find out if that teacher is registered and licensed and has done all the renewals. Are you getting the connection? If they are going to transfer, promote a teacher, they need to make sure that that teacher is in good books with the Teaching Council of Zambia. That's how closely we collaborate with the Teaching Service Commission. We work with Examinations Council of Zambia. We've done so many sensitization programs together. We've worked with several banks, ZICB, like I mentioned. We've launched a mobile payment system. We've worked with NatSave. We've worked with Zanaco. We've worked with Zicta on cybersecurity, sensitization, which has really, really helped our teachers. You know, sometimes our teachers are they are so carefree when they are posting things on social media, but they don't know the implications, the digital footprints they are leaving on the cybernet, which will also be harmful to their professionalism. You know, nowadays we've reached an age where an institution, before they're hiring you, they're also seeing your digital footprint, what you post on Facebook, on these WhatsApp groups. And we have been sensitized. We've sensitized over 2,500 teachers with Zicta just in 2024 alone. On how teachers can be able to just safeguard their information, so they can be able to prevent scammers from scamming them, on how teachers should be so digital friendly, social media friendly, they should be web friendly, you know, and web conscious as well. Not friendly, but should be web conscious, social media conscious, because there are so many scammers there. There's so many people, that criminals that are after our monies, mobile monies. If you are careless, leaving your information out, you don't even know the person who's going through your information and what they are scheming. So, and this has also, we've also extended it to our learners as well, trying to tell them to be careful on what they post on social media. So we've collaborated with Zicta, we've collaborated with so many other institutions. Zambia, we have MOUs, Memorandums of Understanding, with ACC, with ZACWA, with Teaching Service Commission, with Ministry of Education. We cannot work alone. If we're going to make sure that a teacher is professional and is relevant to society and will expel good quality learners, collaboration is the way to go.
Interesting, indeed, indeed. As TCZ, are you also opening opportunities for professional teachers to work beyond borders?
Yes, we are. Yes, we are, ma'am. As a regulator, we want nothing more than our teachers to gain international experience, and our teachers to even work outside the country. Teaching Service Commission usually recruits teachers to go and work in Seychelles. They have an MOU, but all that is dependent on a teacher being registered and licensed with the Teaching Council of Zambia. And there are so many teachers that are working in Japan, in the UK, in Finland, in Europe, and their schools will call or email to say, can you give us a recommendation? We have this teacher who is from Zambia and claims to be from Zambia. Are they in good books with you? Can you give us a letter of recommendation for us to go ahead and employ this teacher? That's how important an institution, Teaching Council of Zambia, is. And there's nothing more that gives us joy than to see our teachers working outside and just, you know, having that international experience, you know. And thank God, if some of them will come back, they will come back with those positive ideas and also be able to impart on our learners. Yeah.
So as we conclude, what are your final remarks?
Okay, so the Teaching Council of Zambia is has decentralized into 3 provinces. We have Copperbelt, which is manning Copperbelt and Northwestern. We have an office in Kitwe at Helen Kaunda. We also have an office in Livingstone, which is manning Southern Province and Western Province. We have an office in Kasama, Water Affairs, which is manning 3 provinces, which is Muchinga, Northern, and Luapula Province. We also have the Central Region in Lusaka, which is manning Eastern Province, Lusaka Province, as well as Central Province. So you do not have to travel for your issues to be resolved. You do not have to travel. Teachers, everything is seamless. You just go on www.teacher.tcz.ac.zm and you will access all the TCZ information you require. You will be helped. We have call center lines which will be made available on the screen. You will be helped. You can call our call center lines, and you also just go through our website. We have so many documents there: the Code of Ethics, the Teaching Profession Act. We have all these things that are available for you to just go through and upskill and be knowledgeable. You can also find Teaching Council of Zambia on our Facebook page. It's there. We're always upgrading. We're always showing you our new innovations. We're always giving guidance to anything that seems to be difficult. Right now, most of our teachers are experiencing balances when they want to renew their licenses. It's because probably their payroll deduction delayed. So if it delayed by 4 months, it means the first 4 months has not been deducted. They need to pay that 4 months weight of amount. So if, for example, they were being billed 18 kwacha or 15 kwacha, to be 15 kwacha by 4 months, you find it to tell you you have 60 kwacha balance for you to renew. You need to just go and pay that 60 kwacha, because obviously when they applied for payroll deduction, it took long. And there's a process PEMIC undergoes. They need to check your accounts. They need to make sure that you have something remaining. You can't just have everything being deducted. So that same window period which PEMIC has, which hasn't been paid for, is what the system is requiring. So I just want to tell our teachers out there that Teaching Council of Zambia is your regulator. It's here to stay. It's here to make a positive difference. It's here to make our lives better as teachers. Being a professional, I'm told every time they would be asking them to say, is teaching a profession? You'd say, no, it's not a profession, because you had no regulator, but now there's a regulator in place, and it comes with so many benefits. So I would just like to implore our teachers, even as they are renewing, to not relent, to continue and be compliant. Compliance is a symptom of being professional.
Well, viewers, I hope you have really learned something from our discussion. TCZ is aimed at promoting professionalism among educators in order to benefit learners, in turn foster sustainable development in Zambia. This is where we end today's program, and I have been your host, Nosiku Muyawa, saying goodbye and may God bless you.